Ahoy ahoy guys, welcome to another one of my videos. Arendelle here, Delly, all of the above, and welcome to my Invoked Dogmatika Shaddoll video. Okay, so today we'll be looking at the Invoked Dogmatika Shaddoll deck. That's pretty popular right now. It's definitely not top tier, but it's very versatile and fun to play. I'll be looking at how to improve the gameplay, as I'm learning it myself right now, so I wanted to go through some of the tips of the deck to make it more playable. Would take this as a grain of salt of what you enjoy to do with this deck and how you enjoy to build it, because it has a few versions of it, and it's very versatile with different things to put into it, especially with the Invoked Dogmatika portion of it. So I am in the middle of learning this deck myself, and I have an okay win rate with it, but it does take a little tiny bit of concentration, but it's not the hardest deck. But it is a lot of fun, and you can do a lot with it. So you can make a lot of different versions of this deck, which makes it pretty appealing. So pretty much we'll be going through some of the cards in the deck and how I chose to build it and why. And you may have noticed I have a new outfit, which is very DUEL inspired, which I love. Yay! Let me know below if you like the new outfit and you wouldn't mind seeing anything else. Let's get into it. Whoop, whoop. Okay, so we're looking at the deck I've built so far. So I have made some budget differences, and I'll go over kind of things that you can change in here as I go through why this is in this deck, and we're looking at some of the cards. So as Dogmatika, Shaddoll, and Invoked, it has parts of each engine. It has parts of each engine in it, and honestly so far it's the most even engine, because the Invoked Shaddoll I've played was very Shaddoll heavy, Invoked light, and a lot of engines I've seen put in there, especially with Invoked is very light. But okay, so we'll be going over the cards, why this was put in, and let's get to it. And yes, I named my deck Dogma Boys, mainly because it's a running joke that it's a meta deck, so it's dogging the boys pretty much. And this is my most meta deck so far, so let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with the basics. 2 Maxi, or I mispronounce Maxi all the time, but you can have 3. I went for 2 for cheapness, and Maxi is great for draw mechanic, and most meta decks have it, almost normal decks have it. And I put it in just for the draw mechanic, because the main thing you need to get through this deck, as a lot of decks, is to draw what you need, and you're trying to get your fusion cards into your hands with the same respect, with the cards you're after, pretty much. The normal thing you want from a deck, some are just harder to do than others. You want the cards that you want in your hand, or on the field. So Max C is great for that. And it's also a good counter to punish someone when they're doing a lot of combos and fusions first turn, which we know a lot of decks do. And then you have Shaddoll Hedgehog, which is a flip effect. And if you've never played a Shaddoll before, the main stick of it is that all their monsters have flip effects. So you want them on the field flip down, face down, so you can flip them for their mechanics. But they also have, most Shaddolls have an effect when they die on the field, / go to your grave. So most of your mechanics via the Shaddoll is either to have it on the face down on the field to be flipped, or to be destroyed and sent to your graveyard, or you use one of your card's effects to send it to your graveyard to get the back to proc. And this one is no different. You can flip, you can add 1 Shaddoll Spells Trap from your deck to your hand. If this card is sent to the grave by a card effect, you can add 1 Shaddoll monster from your deck to your hand, except Shaddoll Hedgehog. You can only use 1 Shaddoll Hedgehog effect per turn, and only once that turn. So most of these have these effects, you can only use 1 of them per turn. Keep that in mind when you're discarding. Sometimes you can get trigger happy, but it's all about just being patient. So the main thing that you want from this isn't actually this one most of the time, but it is a great effect if it's all you have to bring. When you flip it, you get a spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So that is fantastic. So you have a lot of spells you can use in this deck. That is fantastic, and it's the main thing you'll be using. Most of the times you discard it, or similarly, unless it's in your hand. And if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can add 1 Shaddoll monster from your deck to your hand. And that is the most common way I see this being used, is as a mechanic to get a monster you want into your hand. Okay, moving on is the most common card to go into any deck, Ash Blossom. You may be green, but it's true. You can just do 2. I have 3 in here just because of the decks I seem to verse. But both of these can either be 2 or 3 depending on your play style. So that's up to you, and most people know what Ash Blossom do. It's a counter card to negate people's effects, pretty much. Add a card from the deck to the hand, special summon from the deck, send a card from the deck to the graveyard, kind of thing. You can discard this card and negate the effects of any of these. And that's pretty much what it uses to cuck your opponent. Then you have Shaddoll Wendy, which is a really good, a really good card. Surprisingly, it's a really good card. You may find surprisingly it is SR, but yeah, you can either do 1, 2, or even 3. It's up to you. In this deck, the most common is 2 or 1. If you're doing just a Shaddoll Invoked, it's 3. But yeah, I like 1 to 2 personally in this. 2 is mostly better, just to go with your other Shaddoll mechanics. You can flip effect is you can special summon 1 Shaddoll monster from your deck in a face up or face down defense position, except Shaddoll Wendy, which most of these cards have. You can't use the same effect on your own card. Very common. This card is sent to the graveyard. By a card effect, you can special summon 1 Shaddoll monster from your deck and face down defense position, except Shaddoll Wendy. You can only use 1 Shaddoll Wendy effect per turn, and then once that turn. So pretty much, this is, you may think it's a downside putting the defense, but it's not, because most of these things you want to flip, activate, and take off the field as quickly as possible. So you would use her to bring, say, him on the field. It is placed flip face up, so if your opponent does know what it is, they will know exactly what you're doing. But surprisingly, a lot of people don't know what these cards do or won't look at it, which is good for you, bad for them. But that it can be used really effectively, especially with other cards bringing it to the field, keeping you in a good circle of cards entering the field. Then you have one of my favorite ones of the Shaddolls. It's Shaddoll Squamata? That is probably incorrect, but yeah. The flip effects, you can target 1 monster on the field and destroy it. This works surprisingly well on almost all cards, except the ones that cannot be affected by monster effects, or if there is a spell in place doing that. This card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect. You can send 1 Shaddoll card from your deck to the graveyard, except Shaddoll Squamata. You can only use 1 Shaddoll Squamata each per turn. So pretty much, when it goes into the grave, you can discard another card. So it doesn't give you effect entering the grave other than to find another card in your deck or hand to send to the grave to do their effect. So if that went off, you might want to put Shaddoll Beast into the grave, because when it goes in, you get 1 card. This, where is she? Ariel, when she goes to the grave, lets you banish cards and so forth, kind of thing. So, and same with Shaddoll Hedgehog and stuff like that. So pretty much most of these cards play off each other to get each other into the grave or field or hand. Next up, you may know him from the memes, Alistair the Invoker. Pretty much here. Quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, then target 1 fusion monster you control. It gains 100 attack, defense until the end of this turn. If this card is normal summoned or flipped face up, you can add 1 evocation from your deck to your hand. So, pretty much first mechanic is a normal summon. I know, normal summon Alistair. But it is actually a great mechanic to get him onto the field if someone doesn't cuck you by doing a negate. But you put him onto the field pretty much in his effect. Press agree, obviously. Don't just click rapidly. It will bring an invocation to your hand. And this is a great thing for this system, because you want invocation in your hand in a constant cycle. So invocation comes to your hand, you do your you have your Alistair on the field, and you can either use one of you, depending what you have in your hand, you can go straight to an invoked or fusion, or you can summon Artemis first to guarantee you Mecha Kebab, which is a very common start card. I'll go into it in a second. And then when it uses your fusion materials and goes to the grave, Invocation will activate in your grave, and you can activate it, it goes back into your deck, and Alistair goes back into your hand. and you can activate his secondary effect in the same turn if you wish, or you can keep it in your hand to do the same cycle over. So it keeps cards coming back to you into your deck, and so you can keep fusioning. Because a secondary use of Alistair is this one here. It's like, then target one fusion monster you control, it gains 1,000 attack / defense. And that can be really good because it can be added onto the last attack phase, which I will show you when they're attacking you. Well, I'll try and show you. And you can juke them into attacking you and losing, pretty much. It can also be a safety method. It can also be a safety message. It can also be a safety method. Blah, 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 blah. It can be a safety method to protect yourself once you're trying to, block a opponent from attacking you. When you're trying to block an opponent oh, fucking Christ. When you are trying to block an opponent from attacking you. Okay, moving on. We have Invoked Shaddoll Aerial. Flip. Let me grab this. You can target one. Flip, you can target one of your banished Shaddoll monsters, special summon in a face up or face down defense position. That is actually a really fantastic card. If you can get her onto the field, it's very good. You can do like 1 to 3, or I feel like 1 is fine, but 2 is perfect. Like if you are relying more on your Shaddoll cards than your side cards. This card is sent to the grave by a card actor. You can target up to 3 cards in the graveyard. Banish them. You can only use 1 Shaddoll aerial effect per turn, and only once that turn. Okay, so the ideal thing in a Shaddoll deck than a Shaddoll Invoked, this works better. This is mainly a counter card in this deck as only 1. Because the main thing in another deck is you would summon her, you would discard her banish cards, and then you would put her flip position, flip her up, and then you can get back your banish cards. But with only 1, it's harder to pull off, so it's mainly used to cuck other decks if they're reliant on grave by banishing things from their grave, and stopping them pretty much. And it also has the right it also gives you a water type for fusions, which is really helpful seeing there's not as much white water in this deck. Next up, the Dogmatika engine comes into it, and Dogmatika Excalicia, I'm probably saying that wrong again. She's a really good search mechanic and bringing things to the field. Cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster special summoned from the extra deck. You can only use each of the following effects of Dogmatika Extra, the virtuous, once per turn. If a monster special summoned from the extra deck is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. This card is normal or special summoned. You can activate this effect. Add 1 Dogmatika card from your deck to your hand. Except Dogmatika Excalicia, the virtuous. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of its turn. Pardon me. So pretty much you can either activate it from a hand or bring it to the field. I'm pretty sure if you activate her from the hand, if you special summon her from the hand, you cannot special summon for that turn. But if you do it at the end of your turn, it's fine. So if you need to special summon by getting other things on the field, leave her to last. But she can bring another character into your hand. Either Dogmatika Floridus, Dogmatika Maximus, or usually Dogmatika Punishment is the core cards in here that you can pull out with this mechanic. So it's really good to have 3 of her. She is also really good fusion material. You have Shaddoll Beast, which is a really good 2200 monster that can be brought onto the field with some of these other mechanics. Flip, you can draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card deck, you can draw 1 card. You can also use, you can only use 1 Shaddoll Beast effect turn, and only once that turn. So pretty much if you flip it, you get 2 cards, but you have to discard 1, so you have more of a choice. But if it goes directly to your grave, you get 1, but only that 1, but no minus to it, pretty much. So either way of doing this is fine. Flipping it on the field or discarding it, you'll get the same amount of cards. The main thing is the 2200. That's a pretty good card straight up, depending what you have on the field. It is also just a normal, so it's cheap. Super, super cheap. Next, you have like my favorite Dogmatika card, which is Dogmatika Flerodeles, said that probably wrong, the Knighted. During the main phase, if a monster is special summoned from the extra deck is on the field, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if you control another Dogmatika monster, you can negate the effects of one face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. When your Dogmatika monster declares an attack, you can make all Dogmatika monsters you currently control gain 500 attack. You can only use each effect of Dogmatika Flerodos, the Knighted, once per turn. So pretty much how this works is, usually, ideally, you bring her onto the field, or in your last step, or one of these, if you already have, and then you'll have Flores onto the field, activating the stun effect. This is not necessary, but bringing her out after any special summon is fine, because when Flores, the Knighted, attacks, which is what you really want to be doing at the end there, no matter how you bring her out, you want to attack, and it's buffed by 500, but it'll buff your other Dogmatika cards on your field by 500 too, but it's only, the mainly important is to have Fleur buffed. But the best thing about that is, unlike a lot of different cards, it does not dissipate after the end of turn, it will stack. So every time you attack, she will go back up by 500, and you can just keep doing this every round, no matter what. So it is a absolutely fantastic card. If you like kind of like point damage stacking, but it can be a little bit defenseless if you can't get that first attack up, because its damage will go up to 3,000. Once it's 3,500, your enemy will find it increasingly hard to stop it. So it's better to bring it out on a turn you know you can attack. Okay. Then you have Dogmatika Maximus, which is a fine card. I have heard people screw themselves over with it. I've done it myself. You can banish one Fusion Synchro XYZ or Link monster from your graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can activate this effect. Send 2 monsters with different names from your extra deck to the graveyard. Also, your opponent sends 2 monsters from the extra deck to their graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn. You can only use each effect of Dogmatika once per turn. So again, this is a card you want to use at the end of your turn, pretty much. So you can banish one Fusion Synchro Link monster, whatever, from your from the graveyard, and you'll be able to special summon it. That works well with Ariel here, because it can unbanish those cards if you can get that combo out. A bit situational, but yes, that can work. And this is also why you want a max extra deck, even if some of it isn't relevant or you can't afford it, just because you'll be banishing and getting rid of a lot of things from different cards. So even if it's the not most important card, if you have some URs or just any kind of extra cards in there for cannon fodder, it is worth putting it in, especially for your Pots of Prosperity. So, but the situational-ish second mechanic is discarding from your extra deck. This is also why you would want extra cards in your extra deck, because this card will get rid of your opponent's extra cards, but will get rid of your own, so it's all really good to have a full extra deck in there, so you can get rid of some junk and not be super affected, unlike your opponent. So it's a bit situational, but it's mainly there as something you can put onto the field easily. Then you have Harpies for others, destroy all spells and traps in your opponent's control. This is a terraforming. Add 1 field spell from your deck to your hand, which is this field spell, Magical Meltdown, which is what you want to use it for to get onto the field. Then you have Shaddoll Fusions, which is pretty much a fusion card that is used primarily for Shaddoll cards. Fusion summon 1 Shaddoll fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. If your opponent controls a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, you can also use monsters in your deck as fusion material. You can only activate 1 Shaddoll per fusion. It's a really good card. It's not as good as Polymerization, but it's a good fusion card that you can easily search for with your others. Invocation is, again, a fusion monster made. It's mainly for invoked, summon and invoked fusion. This way you can also banish monsters from your field or other players as a fusion material, which is great. So pretty much, monster from your extra deck using monster from your hand as fusion material. If summoning an invoked fusion monster this way, you can also banish monsters from your field and or other players' graveyard as fusion material. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one of your banished Alistairs, the Invoker, shuffle this into your deck, and if you do add that monster to your hand, you can use this effective invocation once per turn. So if you do an invoked card, you can steal things from your opponent if you're doing a different one, because you can summon pretty much anything if you have the right stuff. Sometimes it might be the right choice, but as you can tell, it's cheaper to do an invoked card if you can. It's a really good fusion card. Then you have Nada Servant. Send one monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, then add one Dogmatika monster or Fallen of Abyss from your deck to your graveyard to your hand. That it has attack less than or equal to the sent monster in the graveyard. Also, for the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. You can only activate one Nadir Servant per turn. So pretty much it's a mechanic. You discard things from your side deck, and then you can add a Dogmatika card to your hand. It's really good if you're bricked and you have this card, because you can bring one of your search Dogmatika into your hand. But this is another reason why you want things in your side deck to extra deck to discard. Then you have Pot of Prosperity. Most people who's played the game knows what it is. You banish 3 cards or 6 cards, and you have a choice. And you can, from your extra deck, again, while you want this filled up, for the rest of the turn after this card, any damage your opponent takes is halved. Also, activate cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of cards banished. Add one activated card to your hand, place the rest on the bottom of your deck. You can only activate one Pot of Prosperity per turn. Yeah. So pretty much, this is just used as a search mechanic. Again, this is why you want this full, so you can try and find some of the cards you need for your combo in case you get bricked. In case your hand is bad. Your hand bricks. Just in case anyone doesn't know what that means, it's bricking of the hand, not those other things. Then you have Magical Meltdown. When this card is activated, you can add one Alistair, the Alistair Invoker, from your deck to your hand. From your deck to your hand. The activation of the cards and effects that include in the effect of the fusion summons and fusion monster cannot be negated. Also, opponent's card and effects cannot activate when a monster is fusion summoned this way, and you can only activate one Magical Meltdown per turn. So pretty much the main mechanic is this is to be put onto the field, and your Alistair can be added to your hand from your deck to your hand. So it's a draw mechanic to get Alistair to start your combo. The extra effect is the activation of your cards and effects that include an effect that fusion summons modes cannot be negated. Also, your opponent's cards and effects cannot activate when a monster is fusion summoned this way, which is a really good side thing of it. I don't pay much attention to it that turn, but it is a great card and it's a great draw card. But these are good side effects that can be really helpful for winning your duel. So pretty much activation of cards and effects that include an effect of the fusion summons and fusion monster cannot be negated. As in, they cannot negate your fusion cards, which is great. So your opponent's cards and effects cannot activate when a monster is fusion summoned this way, which is also great, because the worst thing is to get your fusions negated. Then you have the ultimate card, well, ultra rare, Super Polymerization. It can be situational, but it is a really card. Discard one card, fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from either field as fusion material. This can be really great getting rid of more powerful cards. So pretty much you can take, if it allows, it does allow most cards, to take an enemy's card and one of your cards, sometimes 2 of your enemy's cards, to fusion a card for yourself, which is really great. So pretty much you can steal their cards to make yourself. You can also get rid of like a too powerful enemy. Fantastic. It's a very great card. Can be a bit of a pain to understand at the start when you can activate it. I have it in as 2. As you can see, the amounts I put on there is pretty much the suggested amount on these. 3, 2, 1, 2. Then you have Called by the Grave, which you can do 1 or 2. I did 1 because polar, but I haven't found... it is a situational card, so it's really up to you how you like to play. Target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, banish it, and if you do until the end of the next turn, its effects are negated, as well as activate effects and effects on the field of the monsters with the same original name. It's pretty straightforward. Most people have seen this card. It is a very common card in the deck, and it's used just to try and stop your... stop plays... to stop the plays of the person you're versing. So it has to be in the opponent's graveyard, and it will negate for that entire turn any card. So you pretty much have to match up the card you're trying to negate with something in their graveyard, but most of the time it's used for cards that go to the graveyard to do their effect. Then you have Forbidden Droplet. Send any number of the other cards from your hand or field to the graveyard. Choose that many effect monsters your opponent controls. So pretty much, as many cards as you discard, you can affect with this. And until the end of this turn, their attack is halved, and also their effects are negated. So any monster effects will be negated for that turn, and half-life. In response to the cards activating, your opponent cannot activate cards or the effects of the cards with the same original type monster spell trap. So pretty much spell a monster. As the cards is sent to the graveyard to activate this card, you can only activate one Forbidden Droplet per turn. This can have 1 or 2, up to you. I did 1. Target 1 face up. This is Infinite Impermanence. Again, this is a 1 or 2. I did 1, as it's a situational card. Up to you. Target 1 face up monster your opponent controls and negate his effect. Then if this card was set before activation and is on the field in resolution for the rest of the turn, all your spell trap effects on this column are negated. You control no cards, you can activate this card from your hand. It's a fine card. It's a situational counter card. It's really how you enjoy to play and what you've been versing. And then you have Dogmatika Punishment. This is usually at 1, is how I usually see it. Target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Send 1 monster with an equal or higher attack from your extra deck to the graveyard. And if you do destroy that monster until the end of your turn after this card reveals, you cannot special summon monster from the extra deck. You can only activate 1 Dogmatika Punishment per turn. So pretty much you, again, discard from your extra deck. A reason why you need a reason why you need a full extra deck again, because it discards from it. And you can destroy one of the cards of similar damage. This is like a main card for you, Shaddoll Schism. An SR. Usually it's just at 1, you could do 2, but it's at... I think you can do 2, but it's 1. It's fine at 1. During the main phase, you can fusion summon 1 Shaddoll fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your field or graveyard. But it cannot attack directly. Then you can send to the graveyard 1 monster your opponent controls with the same attribute as the fusion summon monster. You can only use this effect of Shaddoll Schism once per turn. So it's once per turn. It helps you fusion summon as a trap, but for that turn, it cannot attack. But it will be able to attack the next turn. It's a really good card for getting your fusions out. So here we're talking about the extra deck and what I chose to put in it. So pretty much 2 of these. This is a very good mechanic, and you may know it. It's because it's the bane of ranked with this deck. El Shaddoll Winda. I have 1 or 2 of her. I put 2 in. I feel like that's more optimal because once she's off the field, it's very hard to bring her back. And she's really good for stopping mass special summon decks, like Pendulum. So pretty much a Shaddoll monster plus a Dark monster to make. Very easy in this deck. Must first be fusion summoned. Cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. Each player can only special summon monsters once per turn while this card is face up and on the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Shaddoll spell trap in your graveyard and add it to your hand. This is very handy, as you can tell from this. You usually want to bring it out first turn if you can, or after you've done your entire combo. And it's really good because when it's sent to the grave, you get another fusion card pretty much to replace the one you used to summon it, so it can give you a second chance to restart. This is Invoked Shaddoll. I only do 1 of these. This is the most common I've seen. It's not the best, it's not the worst. I would say it's semi-situational, but most of the time. Alistair Invoker plus 1 wind monster. That's why Shaddoll goes so well with this. Once per turn quick effect, you can target 1 monster on the field, change it to face down defense position. So it can be really good defensible, or if they have a lot monsters with... If they have monsters with low defense, high attack, it can be helpful to like turn the tables. So it is situational to if you're losing pretty much, or to make your life easier. And it's a normal card, so pretty cheap. Okay, this is Applicon. I'm saying that wrong too. I keep this at 1. It's a good card. But most of the time in this deck, I use it as a discard to get you get the Shaddoll Applicon. You can get a fusion card when it's sent to the grave. Here, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one Shaddoll card from your deck or graveyard to your hand in the discard. You can discard this when it says discard to or send to grave, not banish, and you'll get the card if you're behind. So that's what is the most I use for this deck. But you do have other effects and can be used as a fusion. 2 Shaddoll monsters with different attributes. So whatever you got, just has to be Shaddoll. Must first be fusion summoned. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Always good. Can I use each of the following effects of El Shaddoll Applicon once per turn? This card is special summoned. You can target one face-up monster in the field, negate its effect. Always good. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one Shaddoll card from the deck or graveyard to your hand, then discard one card. So either of these can be used for the discard because they do the same kind of thing. But Winder is kind of more important. Then you have an invoked Purgatorio or Purgatorio. How you actually properly say it. As you can tell, I'm really bad at saying names. We have takes Alistair the Invoker plus 1 fire monster. This card gains 200 attack for each card your opponent controls. Can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to opponent. This is a really good card, though situational, to bring out when your opponent has a lot of monsters on the field, as it will boost up your attack damage and you can hit all of them. And you still won't be able to do attack directly, but it means you can clear a board quite easily. And it can do grievous piercing damage, grievous damage, however you want to call it in whatever game, to you, even if it's a defense position, which is really good to have. It's a really good card. I only keep it at 1 in this deck, and it's normal, making it pretty cheap. Now, Shaddoll Construct. I keep this at 2. You can have 1, 2, 3, whatever you're comfortable with or whatever you can afford. This really just depends on if you already have one and how much material you have. I have it at 2 because I already had 2 from my invoked Shaddoll deck. You want 1 Shaddoll monster, 1 light monster. Must be first fusion summoned. If this card is special summoned, you can send 1 Shaddoll card from your deck to the graveyard. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles a special summon monster, destroy that monster. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Shaddoll spell trap in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So pretty much you can send a spell trap to the graveyard here, and you can bring it back if it leaves the field, which is great. This is its main use as any special summon card, which, as you know, is a very common main enemy. It will automatically destroy it. They won't take any battle damage, but no matter if it's stronger than you, it will be destroyed on the field, which is an incredibly good card. We have a Starving Venom Fusion Dragon at 1, just an SR. 2 dark monsters on the field except tokens. If this card is fusion summoned, you can make this card gain attack equal to 1 opponent's special summoned monster until the end of this turn. Once per turn, you can target 1 level 5 or higher monster your opponent controls until the end phase. This card becomes the monster's original name and replaces the effect with the monster's original effects. If this fusion is summoned card is destroyed, you can destroy all your opponent's special summoned monsters, which is awesome, honestly. It's a really high attack, 2,800, and it has all these extra effects, which is fantastic. So the main thing you want to use it for is pretty much it's a good fusion, but you can make this card gain attack equal to 1 opponent's special summon monsters, which is great if they have a monster that is very powerful. Once per turn, you can target 1 level 5 or higher monster your opponent controls until the end of the phase. This card's name becomes the monster's original weight and replace this effect with the monster's original effects. Situational, but can be helpful. But the main thing here is if you bring it to the field, your opponent has to destroy it in some way. No matter how it's destroyed, unless they put it back into your fusion deck, it will destroy all your opponent's cards. So either way, it's a win for you. I just keep it at 1. This is a situational one, but it's a cheap rare. Alistair the Invoker plus fusion monster. It's invoked Agoetus. I'm just going to call him Ago. A special summon to your opponent's field. If this card is special summoned or monsters is special summoned to your opponent's field, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy it. You can only use this effect once per turn. Once per turn, you can banish 1 fusion monster from your graveyard. This card gains attack equal to the banished monster's attack until the end of your opponent's turn. So the main thing this is used for is to summon it onto the field and to summon onto the field and destroy a card. That's the most usual. Then you fuse it out. But you can, if you have nothing to bring out, you can use its special effect to add attack equal to, so you can gain up to do an attack. It depends on the situation, so that's why I call it situational. We have the Shaddoll Dogmatika. This is just a filler item that I put in to hit the 15 side deck, so in case you need a discard. It is you need a Shaddoll and a water. Must be first be fusion summoned. Neither place can special summon monsters from the hand or graveyard using spell trap effects. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Shaddoll spell trap in your grave and add it to your hand. So pretty much it's used as a discard, and for mine it's not a core component of this deck or is needed in any way. This is just a card I put in there to be discarded, but it can be used if you run out of things to summon, pretty much. This is a core part of the side deck, Invoked Macabre, but I call him Mecha Kebab. Alistair +1 light monster. Once per turn, when a spell card, trap card, or monster effect activated quick effect, you can send the same type of card, monster, spell, or trap from your hand to the graveyard. Negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. So pretty much, you want to bring this out early or whenever you can with the Invocation Fusion card. And it can pretty much negate any spell or monster, but when to negate it, you have to discard a similar card. So if it's a monster negate, you have to discard a monster card. If it's spell negate, you have to discard a spell. So it can be really helpful, especially seeing a lot of combos can be blocked by even one negate. Okay, these are Secure Gardener, Salamangreat, and Artemis. I won't go over this here because it's not relevant to this deck at all. These are summon steps. Pretty much you set up Alistair and you fuse into them, and then you use those two, this plus Alistair, to then make one of your fusions and invocation. Because if you Alistair Artemis, you will automatically have Mecha Kebab available to you no matter what is in your hand. And if you Alistair Aljama and then Secure Gardener, also Mecha Kebab. But the upside is this can come in and out of your deck easily when needed for fusion material. So it's an easy way to get extra things out of your extra deck as materials. So I'll just go over what the most important parts of the decks and what is filler. Winda, important, is needed. Purgatoro, needed. Short Construct, definitely needed. And Mecha Kebab is definitely needed. Secondary needs to make the cards work, I would say, is your Invoked Rajan, and you can either do Artemis or either of these two, the Secure or the Alamerja, however you want to say that. You can do either or both, it's up to you. I've just done both as filler for the deck. I prefer Artemis as a way to get Macabre. I feel like it's the easiest way, but it's up to you, depending on what you like. And these are core parts of the rest is core parts, air quotes, of the deck that you can use, but most of them are filler. These has no major use in this deck other than as a discard, pretty much. And you can go only one window. I did too. With the side here, that your core parts that you definitely need is at least one Windy, one Aerial, Alice, the Invoker 3, and Dogmatic Exla 3. And this card, Floridis, very core. And your Schism, Dogmatic Punishment, and Super Poly, all your polymerization cards here. And Magical Meltdown are like your core ones. But all of these are very much needed too, pretty much. You can swap out some of these, but I'd keep this mostly the same, other than a few changes to the numbers, how many of Shaddoll Beasts. Some people like do 1, I do 2. Some people, you can do 1 or 2 of these. It's really up to you on those, but I would keep it similar and see what you like. So that's pretty much like the build of this deck of Invoked Shaddoll Dogmatika. There is a lot of different things you can do with it though. So let's go and play some games and I'll show you how this version of the deck plays. Yay!
Okay, let's do this. Let's see if we can get some of these plays out, shall we? Let's go first. Honestly, it's situational in this. You know, sometimes it is better to go first or second here, but first is usually the best way to go. It's very situational where second is best, but... Wait, crap, this is the wrong deck. Never mind. I just gave that man such an easy win. I put in my Invoked deck. I keep going Invoked Shaddoll even though I'm playing Dogma Boys. Oops. Okay, let's duel. I'm just going in the rank for this one, but I will be dueling against my some other people to show actual combos more easily. Like some people I know. And another person that plays Dogmatika, Shaddoll Invoked more than me, to show you how they like to play. Okay, I'm gonna go Pot of Prosperity first. They're probably gonna negate this, but we're just gonna do 3 cards. Okay, we'll use our Aplicalacon. We'll do that, and I will go him this time as our 3 discards. Oh shit, that was the wrong one. That was a Panis. I already fucked it up. Oh my god. We'll pretend I didn't do that. Bring Alistair out. We'll set up an invocation. So this is like your basic mechanic. And then your special summon. We'll just do Artemis here. Bring Artemis out. And then your invocation. We're gonna wait a second for that. Not that. We don't activate them yet. We're going to select Artemis and our Alistair. And then we'll put him on the field, left to the side, just to stop negations. And then, so we don't forget, because it can be easy to forget, activate your invocation. And this will bring Alistair back into your hand, and invocation back into your deck. Which you can't see behind me, but that's what happened. Invocation back in the deck. Okay, so what we want to do now is set up terraforming. We'll bring this out. Magical Meltdown. We'll activate Magical, put him on the field. We should have probably tried that first, but... Okay, we could have done either of these first, but I'm going to try and get her out first. And we're actually going to bring that out because of the defensibility and not them, because that's more situational. So this is to come out as a defense here. We'll place that. Then we'll activate this effect. And we'll put that on the field. This is sometimes better out second, in my opinion. Okay, and there we go. And we'll end our turn. So in this first phase, we've already got 3 cards on the field straight away. And hopefully they don't wipe us out. This can help with monsters on the field, but we can't do much if they wipe us out. This is one of the downsides. Board wipes, but to be fair, most decks have a problem with board wipes. Let's see if they have anything here to stop us. What do we have here? Add one resident monster from your deck to your hand. We're going to leave that because we're going to hold on to this just in case. Because we can stop a monster. Pretty much. Crimson Resonator is activated. Oh, no monster, you can special summon this card. If this only other monster you control is actually one drunk, it's okay. I don't think this is the one we want to stop because they don't have 2 cards here. So you want to look for the perfect time to stop with Macabre. People are going to get confused if I keep saying Macabre. This is sent from the field to the graveyard. Add 1 monster. See what they're doing third. I think the third step might be the best step to stop here. It's all just about timing. This is up to you if you know the combo, what's happening. Okay, let's activate. I think there's... But destroy it without getting this effect off? Let's see. Personally, I'm still learning chains myself, but you may be more experienced with this. A card to send to the graveyard. I fucked up before, so we're going to put in Winder. Hopefully that will get us the Shaddoll card we're after, but we'll see. Should have negated Black Forest earlier. It's a bit of pain in the ass. They surrendered! I guess we did it at the right time there. But yeah, as you can still see, I still make slight mistakes there, but easy enough. Okay, we're looking at this. We went second. I have no idea what's happening, but yeah. Okay, let's see if we can do anything here. They have an Eldritch. Ooh, I've actually not versed many of these decks, but I've heard they're a humongous pain in the ass. Okay, let's draw before we do anything here. Okay, Shaddoll Fusion, straight up. Okay, let's read this. This card's name becomes Eldritch the Golden Lord, which on the field cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Ah, battle and card effects. It means Polly is our only chance, I think, because sometimes that goes past card effects. You can tribute 1 zombie monster. So, take control of it. But it cannot attack or activate effects. Okay, let's see what we can do. I feel like we want to try and get into some draws here, but okay, what are we doing here? Okay, I think we'll start off with a invoked summon. If we can. What are they doing? I think we have a card that negates card effects, but it's like a bit of a circle. It's like if they have something that isn't affected by card effects, but I have a card effect or a monster effect that makes all monster effects not available, who wins? Who knows? It's like definitely one of those things you just like have to have experience about, I guess. What do I have in our side deck? I think I have one card like that, but okay, so Aplaconicon does that. Okay, can we bring out them? I think so. Oh shit, did I do that the wrong way around? Ow. Wait, I think I'm looking at the wrong one. Apacalicon. If this card is special summoned, you can target one face-up card on the field and negate its effects. Okay. Let's try this again. Come on. Will this work? I don't think so, but I want to see how it does. Yes. Now we just need a destroy effect or enough damage. But I think I did it in the wrong order. I should have invocation. Okay, we want face up construct. I don't know if this will work, we'll see. If this card is saturated by a card effect, you can add one Shaddoll monster from your deck to your hand. Yes. So we have there. Okay. Let's see if this worked. I don't think so. Yes, we did it! We did it, boys! You may hear me say this a lot. Will this work? But so that does work against, so against Eldritch the Mad Golden Lord, if you, Applicacon's card effect of special summon on the field negates his negate of effects. So yay! And then you can bring out Construct and their effect will kill it. Perfection. I'm very pleased. Okay, we don't get Invocation back because we didn't summon when you don't summon an invoked card, you don't get Invocation back. As far so this was a choice, so it stops our round and round we go. But I think it was the best choice at the time. Shit. Okay, if you can send this card in one spell from your hand to the grave, then target one card on the field, send it to the grave. After this card is in your graveyard, you can send one spell. Add this card to your hand, and you can summon special summon Psalm Vanquish to your hand, and if you do, until the end of your opponent's turn. Okay, what is it planning to do here? Let's see. Okay, I look angry. Okay, why does it keep doing that? What is he doing? Is he disconnected? We'll be here for 1,000 years. Okay. And for the construct. I don't see anything that seems to be negating any effects from my brief read through there. So I think we should be fine. Things that negate card effects is the bane of this deck, and you have to kind of get around it. Okay, they're fusing. What are they bringing out? That card again. For fuck's sake. I don't think I have another negate around. We're so close. Got one banish a Shaddoll monster from special summon. I have no banishes. Can they block it? Let's see. Okay, a plan is forming? Question mark. I think if we can get the opponent negates its effects, if this can have a similar fate to Applicon. If not, re. Oh, bitch. Okay, we're gonna use her. Miss. Okay. Let's chain these. Okay. Oh no, it's doing our back row. Shit. I'll add Schism to the grade because I have a plan for that, but not a very good one. Shit. At least it didn't get rid of our back row, but we're gonna face down that. Oh, has he negated that crap shack? Okay, Trabi one summon monster, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Oh, okay, so wait. Let's look what he says. This card's name becomes cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Damn it. That's all we can do for now. Unless this gets done, but he's negating it for a turn, the back row. We need it negated so we can destroy it. So yeah, that's construct in action going in for the with that ability, but he's negating a lot of our other abilities. And we only have one Applicon. Come on. Shit, actually that might be helpful. I might have did that too soon. Because after this turn it'll be over. Shit. Unless he attacks the right card, I'm so boned, I think, here. He needs to attack one of these. If he attacks that, I'm good. Nope. If he attacks anything else, I'm boned. Yes. That brings back Schism to us, which I'll show how to use. Is he attacking or no? Come on. Shit! I didn't want that one, but... I was so close. I got a little trigger happy with that, with the card. With, infinite impermanence. What are they doing in their main phase 2? Whew. I don't see anything about it. Oh, it must have something similar. Shoot. We'll place her. It's not super helpful, but it's something. Cool. Ash Blossom in his card. East the Blossom. What is this plan here? We'll do Schism. Use the effect of our Schism. Shaddoll Schism. Okay, so pretty much here, I can choose something to special summon. I don't have much to offer, sadly. That's not what I wanted to do, but shit. Shoot! Bugger. But yeah, that's pretty much work, but you can only do Shaddoll Fusion from the Schism, and now it cannot attack for this turn. And you do kind of want to strategically pick what is banished, and I picked the kind of wrong one here. The only way around this is maybe if I get an invoked card, I could try and special summon, he stole it, fuck. Special summon Purgatoro and do some sort of damage against a defense monster he has to win, but that is very unlikely right now because we don't have an invocation card from a choice we made earlier. That did get him down to 300, but yeah. That is the only way I see this going in any other direction. is if we can try and get a different card in. Or a Super Probably, maybe? Because that can work against some of these. End phase. Okay, heart of the cards moment. Okay, terraforming. Come on, don't have a block. Don't have a block. I should have did Schism first to see if he would block it. Shit. No, it's a spectral summon. I think it's fine. I think terraforming will still go ahead. We'll see. Come on. Come on. We can do it. I can hope. He has a lot of cards on the field, so if we could get Purgatorio out, it would be good, but yes, come on. Magical Meltdown. Come on, come on. We can do this. Let's see if we can get him out. We can do this. We can do this. Alistair the Invoker. You get an invocation card. We activate effect. Come on. Yes! Alistair back to the hand with a special effect. Battle mode. Activate. And we win! Oh my god, we actually pulled that out! Woo! And that is the power of Invoked right there! Eldritch can kiss my ass cheeks! Some of the door room, so we'll see. He's probably going to play a very similar deck to me, so we'll get to see his version too, which is good. I'll try and splice these up for funness. Let's see if we can impress him. He's very hard on us. It's time to duel. Okay. Okay, so we put Invoke down, and then back to Artemis, and then Invocation. I will show the other combination, but I do find this one is the easier one. And then we'll put Invocation back into our hand. This is like the most important part to keep the cycle going. Well, Invocation into the deck and Alistair back into our hand. Perfect. Oop. And then we can activate this effect, because this we can't do anything turn one anyway. So we'll bring her onto the field. Yes. And then it will bring her a search effect. We don't want to do any of this yet. I think we'll bring him into the hand.
we don't want to activate their effect right now. We'll leave that for this turn. We could have went more defensive with the Dogmatika trap card, but I chose this, and we'll be able to bring him out hopefully next turn because we have Schism on the field. Shaddoll Schism. No, we're gonna see what move he does before we maxi. What does Tasty have? Oh, black hole! I freaking knew it. Oh no, okay. It's Allure of Darkness. I thought that was Dark Hole. Ooh. Ooh. Now he's got quite the hand. I thought that was a lot worse than it was. What did he discard? Okay, that's fine. Scared the shit out of me. Oops. Okay, let's bring this up closer, I guess. I don't know why the sound's a bit off. Okay, what is this? Wait, Allure Darkness again? What? 2? What is the chances of that? Like, honestly? Take 1 Dispel monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it. Here's our moment. Let's max CC. I'm pretty sure he's about to combo. Oh, no! No! Surprised he didn't chop out Invoked Call by the Grave. Does he have anything to stop this? Oh, he discarded his Magical Meltdown. We have a Allure, the Jest of Despair. So it's a Despair deck. What does this does? I'm not 100%. If this card is normal special summon, you can add 1 branded special trap from your deck to your hand. If a face up fuse monster you control is just... If you do negate the target monster effect until the end of turn, you can only... Right. I don't think this is what I want to negate, but I will. I don't see anything combo worthy, but I just, I don't know Despia or however you're supposed to say cards well enough, honestly. It's been banished. Okay, he's bringing that out. Okay, now he's going for this combo. Similar to me, but he did Magical Meltdown to get his Alistair out. So he could have definitely been baiting that out for me to negate it, because I would have been able to negate that card or any of this combo if I would have waited. Probably should have took a pause there. The more you know. Banished! I can't believe this. Okay. So, yeah, I'm assuming he's gonna bring out Mega? Yep. Meaning he can stop activations now, because that's on the field. What we draw will be important. Let's see what he's gonna do here. See who's attacking. Okay, okay, okay. I should have one more. Oh! See? He did not! Oh my god! Double Alistair himself! Which you can do with this deck. You can double Alistair, which is a good thing of, but that sucks to be me, but... Nice, though. Let's see what we can do here. Max CC? Bloody hell. Stop. Is he gonna negate it? Yes. Fuck. And I can't schism. I'll put that in defense position and we're just gonna have to leave it. Let's see what one card they get. Okay, Maxi C, calm down. Maxi, please! Yeah, just gonna kill that card. We need a good drawer. We're so boned. Maxi was like the worst card we could have got. Oh my god, Maxi, I'm trying to read here, please. Stop. Will he stop me? Because he can if he has the right thing in the back row. Oh, he's max CCing. Come on. You can do this. Gonna go for construct. Okay, her thing puts it back into the grave, so we've now cleared the field. Nice with our so that's why it's really handy to have. It's like a built-in fusion, but you can't attack with it on the turn. Unfortunate, but yeah. Oh no. Crap shack. Blocked its effect. Okay, that's not too bad. Change position. Stop, Max CC, please. Stop! And this one's blocked out, so it won't do anything, so we just end phase. Maxi, please, please! Stop trying to do this. Let's see if he can do anything here. Stop. I'm gonna turn this off for a second. What is he doing? Okay, I think I can't block it, so if I get another activation, I'm going to do Maxi. Come on. The one time I need to do it. Come on, Maxi. Come on, come on. I'm hoping he's gonna do something here. Because I chose that over Schism. Ash, fuck. Okay. If that's the case, is that how we're gonna play it? I'll activate Schism. So we try to get some cards off that, but we'll Schism and bring out a Winder, I'm hoping. Shit. Nope. Construct? Fuck. I fucked that up. Oh no. I didn't realize I didn't have enough cards. That was a mistake. I fucked up one of the cards on that. But I'm hoping this will like stop them special summoning. But I don't think it was actually needed. We probably could have stuck with Construct. I forgot I didn't have one of the right cards for this because a Winder needs it. Okay, they're going to peel out Real Spell. I'm assuming it's going to be... Oh, that's what they bring out. I don't know that card. End phase. Come on, anything. Pot of Prosperity, okay. Come on. Let's do 6. I don't usually, but I'll do 6. Okay, Winder's already on the field. I get rid of him. Please don't have a block. I'm gonna be so sad if he blocks this. That's why it's good to have a full deck with a fusion. Okay, let's see what we can bring out. Let's try that. What do we have in the side deck? I have one Kebab, yep. Kebab to the field. He's on 4,800 thing, so it's going to be very difficult to kill him off this. So we're only at 4,700, 5,700, 6,300-ish. Even with 1,000 at 700, 300, it's not really enough to win. Unless I can Schism something, which I think I only have like one Construct or something. Alistair, why? God, like 5. Please, please. 1,000? I think that is the downside of so many activatable effects, but yeah. Let's go. No, Alistair, no! Alistair will only be important in battle phase, so we'll see what he draws and if he's got anything to counter us. A Winder will keep him that he can only do one special summon. Oh my god, he must be bricked. He's ending it. He's going out like a real man. By his own hands. Well, he's trying to go out by his own hands. Okay, we're just going for the win, so I'll normal summon him, but you'll usually want him face down. Okay, let's battle. And you can Schism here, but I'll activate the effect so you can see here. Activate, and then you can put it onto fusion, so I'm going to put it onto him. So, attack. Then we win off this. Very nice. So you have a little like versatile combos if you know all the cards.